Welcome to the Fibro Fabulous podcast, where we discuss all things fibromyalgia. Done by not a complete idiot, but some parts are missing or just not working properly. Well, I did my trailer yesterday and I totally forgot to introduce myself. So, hi, hello, my name is Fibromy Positive. My online name, obviously. It's the name under which I do Twitch streams, which has been a while. And I have an Instagram account with that name. My real name is Mario. I also go by March. I adopted that name because I have a lot of international people that I'm dealing with, and my full name is usually a bit difficult to pronounce. It's Dutch. I'm from the Netherlands, still living there as well, and I hope to travel in the future. Of course, I have fibromyalgia myself. I've been dealing with chronic pain for a long time, like since childhood, right? And it took me a lot of time to diagnose. For the people that are listening and are like, March, what the hell are you talking about? What the fuck is fibromyalgia? Well, I will tell you. Basically, fibromyalgia is a cluster of symptoms. Fibromyalgia itself is not a disease because it cannot be diagnosed. You cannot test blood. You cannot do a body scan and pinpoint, there it is. Fibromyalgia is basically a cluster of symptoms, and those symptoms cannot be explained by something else. That's basically it. So you have a cluster of symptoms that nobody has a clue where it comes from, but you have these specific cluster, and this specific cluster is fibromyalgia, and I will tell you what it is. So the symptoms are widespread pain, which is a lot of times in the muscle, so not in the joints. It's like pain that's similar to rheumatics. It's also in the Netherlands called weak tissue rheumatics, and it can occur all over your body, but it can also occur in some parts of your body. For example, for me it's widespread. I have it in my whole body. For example, my sister has fibromyalgia as well, and for her it's more in her shoulders and neck, for example. For me, the pain is more in my hands and in my back. That's where it's the worst. So widespread pain, fatigue, cognitive difficulties, also referred to as fibrofog. If you're familiar with ADHD, basically that. I can make that joke because I have ADHD myself, or the old school ADD, the inattentive one, basically. So I have ADD plus now. Yay! So yeah, the primary symptoms are widespread pain, fatigue, and cognitive difficulties. And then you can have some conditions that coexist with fibromyalgia, and some of them are irritable bowel syndrome, chronic fatigue, migraine, anxiety, depression, all that stuff. Sounds fun, right? So now that you know what it is all about, a lot of people suffer from this. Sometimes you don't know that you suffer from this. For me, it took a long ass time before I figured it out that it was this. I was dealing with back pains already in my teenage years, going to therapy for it. The people telling me that I had back pain symptoms they normally see in people that are 40 years old. I was 19 at the time, so my back was basically twice as old as I was. Woohoo! Fun times. And yes, I'm making fun of this and I'm making light of this. Why? Because the more seriously you take it and the more negative approach you have to a diagnosis, that's my opinion, the more you suffer from it. And I don't want to suffer from fibromyalgia. I want to live with fibromyalgia. So that's my take. And if you don't like it, there are a lot of fibromyalgia communities that like to wallow in their suffering. That's also why I'm making this podcast, why I'm making my platform on Instagram, because the only things that I could find support with fibromyalgia were either doctors talking about fibromyalgia, which is very clinical, dry, and just not that fun to watch or listen. The second group is like the people who like to wallow and stay in the victim mentality. Woe is me. This fibromyalgia is so bad and my life sucks, and I don't want to be in those communities. I'm sorry. When I got this diagnosis, my first reaction was like, when they told me I had to live with this, I was like, fuck that. No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna live like this. I was in my 30s when I got the diagnosis. I was living like an 80-year-old. Hell no. So then you know my opinion about that. You know what kind of podcast this is. This is not one for people who like to wallow in their pain and self-pity. This is not a podcast for you. I'm sorry. So yeah, for who is this podcast? This podcast is for the people that want to do something about it. By the way, I forgot the third category. I also found the people that did this expensive treatments or went to live somewhere off grid, you know? Yeah, that's nice if you have a rich husband or wife or something, but I don't. So I'm just here, a normal girl on a budget, trying to make a living and make something out of my life, you know? So yeah, for who is this podcast? This is a podcast for people who have fibromyalgia and are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and basically want to better their life with fibromyalgia and, you know, fuck the pain. That's basically it. I have had a massive setback where I got a little bit better. I got through pain rehabilitation, and then all of a sudden things went bad, and I was living like from couch to bed and from bed to couch with the occasional grocery trip, and that's it, right? Then I had to rest, and hopefully I had enough energy to cook. That's basically it. And yeah, I was not willing to live like that. So, like I said, I did pain rehabilitation. I have done therapy because when I had the really bad setback, I also had very bad depression, low energy. My energy was so low. Yeah, so not real fun stuff, right? When you're 30, you're supposed to be at the height of your energy, the height of your beauty, the height of your life, you know? Everything is supposed to be exciting. You have every energy for everything, and I was just a couch potato, basically. That's all I could manage, and that's not what I wanted. So I got myself help in my household because I couldn't clean my own house. I was 30 years old and I couldn't clean my own house. That's how bad it was. So I got help in the house. I got a psychologist. And when I figured out that even that wasn't enough, I got a life coach. And you might have heard of that life coach, because that life coach is Luke Mindpower. For you that are familiar with him, you know where my mentality comes from, right? He helped me so much. It was the biggest investment of my life. But it was so worth it, because if I hadn't invested in him and his coaching program, I wouldn't be where I am today. 100% sure. So I want to give him a lot of credit here. And of course, I did the work myself, right? But it was his program that helped me do it. Because my problem with psychology was like, yeah, I got it in theory, but I couldn't adapt it in the practical sense, right? And that was where my problem was. And even my psychologist said, you know, you should look for a coach that can help you with that. So that's what I did. And it was in a time that I was basically constructing my Instagram feed. Things I didn't like, I went to the 3 buttons. I don't want to see this anymore. And the things that I did like, I specifically liked, right? And things that were neutral, I didn't like, I just left it. And when I did that, Luke Mindpower came in my feed with his dancing and his positive quotes. And that was amazing. And through that, I found out he had a podcast. So I started to listen to his podcast, and I like what I heard. I loved his vibe. I loved his no bullshit mentality, his tough love mentality. And yeah, that's how I got in his free Facebook group. And then in there, he had some spots opening up to work with clients, and I signed up. That's the story. So remember, I was from couch potato. So bed, couch, bed, occasional grocery store trip, and cooking. That's all I did the whole day. That's all I had energy for. Right now, I'm working 3 half days in childcare. I just finished my license as a Zumba instructor. I went to the gym multiple times, but because I'm working, that dialed down a bit. I go to the gyms 2 times a week, and I focus on strength training right now. And I also do this podcast. I try to post on Instagram. I'm not doing my own content for now, because like putting the camera up and finding something to talk about is just too much at the moment. But that's why I decided to do that podcast, because I don't have to clean shit up and be presentable for a camera. I can do this in my pajamas for all I care, right? I wanted to get this free content out there. I want to inspire someone to do the same, to not only live but thrive with fibromyalgia, right? I reduced 80% of my pain. I am off painkillers. I'm not using weed or anything to numb the pain. The only things that I'm using is creatine, because creatine helps me with the recovery of gym workout. And I'm using ashwagandha, because that's especially after a very intense workout like body pump. That's what I'm doing right now. Never thought I would be able to do that. The first time I tried that, I couldn't walk for 2 weeks, right? And then I had a sore body for a month just from that. So that was the first time I tried it. A half year later, after I did the whole course with Luke, I tried it again. And now I've been doing body pump class for a year. And since recently, I've been doing it 2 times a week. So I do 1 deload, so I do 1 class a little bit lighter and the other one a little bit heavier. And with that, I take the ashwagandha in the evening, because it also helps with the recovery, that I'm not so sore the next day. And that's all I take for my pain. So I made so much progress, and I wanted to give that information to you. Yes, eventually I want to coach people, but to set that up, it's a work in progress. I'm working on it, but it's not there yet. And my focus is to help people. Yes, I want to earn money from it, but my focus is to help people. And if I can do that for free, because I know chronic illness does not make you rich. I know. So that's what this podcast is about. This is for you and for me also, so I can relay my information to the people that need it. And I know my information is valuable, because I helped people that not only with fibromyalgia but also people with other chronic pain. I helped them with the mindset and all that stuff. So I know my information is valuable. My sister thinks my information is valuable, because she takes a lot of that information and puts it into practice in her own life. So that's what this podcast is going to be about. So basically, this episode is a little bit of a elaboration of my trailer. But I have a body pump class in how much time? Let me check. In about 2 hours. And I still need to change my clothes and prepare something to eat after. So I thought, let's make this a big introduction. I'll let you know where I come from, so you know who I am, what I'm about. And I didn't say my age, I think. I talked about things in my ages, but right now I'm 36. I'm turning 37 this year. Then you also know my timeline a little bit. So yeah, I'm not a complete idiot, because I'm also missing my thyroid. But, I have multiple health conditions. Fibromyalgia is not the only one. Throughout episodes, I will tell more about other conditions and stuff, but this will be fibromyalgia focused for now, and maybe I will elaborate on other things and stuff. If you have any questions or want me to discuss about a certain topic, please let me know in the comments, or just send me a direct message on Instagram. My Instagram page will be in the show notes, but it's fibromypositive. So please reach out and I will answer you as fast as I can. For now, I will say goodbye and hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.